Scratchers! Welcome to episode 3 of my Scratch Beginners tutorial series. It's me Nami again and I'm here with yet another tutorial video. Now, if you haven't seen the first two episodes, which is episode 1 and episode 2, please make sure to check them out. I'll link them down in the description so you can easily reach them. But anyways, welcome to episode 3. If you forgot what we learned in the last episodes, I recommend you have 2 watches at them so that you really understand what we're doing here. Just watching it one time won't actually teach you a lot, even though I did a lot of explanation. So I'm just giving you a quick summary of what we learned in the first episode. In the first episode, we made a simple race game that's not way too advanced, and I teach you guys what a when green flag block does and everything. This is a race game at the moment. As you can see, I clicked on the title to get to the screen. Now, as you can see, this is a race game. This project is not shared, so only you can see it. Click share to let everyone see it. So, as you can see, we have this little race game area here, and this is actually what we worked on a lot on episode 1 and 2. As you can see, we have our little bear and Scratch Cat, and when they reach the end, yay, I want to race to a bear. Oh no, I lost to race to a cat. So that's basically what a race game does. We worked hard on this in episode 1 and episode 2, and you guys probably learned a lot during that process. And I also made this episode 2 project in which I went over many stuff. Now, I think you guys remember the my stuff thing. You have to click on episode 2 project. And if you go here, as you can see, we have our project. Here, nothing really happens because we removed all of the code. But I hope you guys remember the 5 categories I teach you guys: motion, looks, sound, events, and control. If you don't remember what these are, I already told this, but I recommend that you look at the video another time. Anyways, let's go to my stuff again. And today, we're going to be going over 2 simple things. A comment, and also, comments in the Scratch community when you're communicating with other Scratchers and stuff like that. And also, what else is there is that we're going to be talking about the paint editor a little bit. Now, if you don't remember what the paint editor is, we'll get to that soon in the video. But first of all, I would like to show you guys what comments are. So comments are basically a way that you can communicate with other people in the Scratch community. Normally, when you've confirmed your email and you go somewhere and tell, hey, I'm new, then you're probably going to get a few messages on your profile of very kind people coming ahead and showing comments and stuff. Now, I've actually prepared one of my normal Scratch friends so that they can give an example of what a Scratch comment is. So, huge shout out to them when they come on the video. But as you can see, whenever you get a comment, you have this little message symbol here. And as you can see, I have 2 messages. Now, you might be thinking, what are these messages? I'm so excited. Now, messages are when someone comments on your project or on your profile, and your profile is like, you click here and then you click on profile. I'm going to open it in a new tab, but you don't have to. As you can see, you have your profile here and people can comment down here. Now, as you can see, our friend is also following me on this account. So yeah, this is our account right now. It's Minami. Now let's go back here, close that. Now, let's actually click on the messages and see what our friend has to tell to us. Hi, as you said you would be doing comments in episode 3, I'll post a sample comment. See? So, this is how it shows up. So, Moss W, who is of course the person who is commented on your profile. And your profile is of course my profile. It's Minami. It's like the Scratch computer is talking to us. So, Moss W was saying hi on my profile. And then he replied, as you said you would be doing comments in episode 3, I'll post a sample comment. So this is what he said on our profile. So whenever you see a message, you don't click on the message or who sent the message. If you click on the person who sent a message, you will go to their profile. But you want to see what your profile is, as in what they commented at your profile basically. So you have to click on your profile, and as you can see, he said hi. Now, you have this hi, you can do anything to this hi. Now if you remember from episode 1, please view episode 1 if you don't remember this, because it's a very viral part. Now say Moss W actually commented something really rude instead of this hi, then what you can do is you can bring your mouse to the end of this comment, and as you can see there's a report button here. Whenever you click on this report button, you can report a comment because it's being rude to you or it's being mean to you. Now don't actually report comments because when a person has done nothing, because if you do that, the chances are you are getting yourself reported, because if you're reporting an innocent person, then the Scratch team will see that and they'll think, oh, why is this person reporting someone who hasn't done anything wrong? So only report a comment when it's really bad, and don't do it for like a test or something. Now if you really think a comment is, just think a comment is not rude, but you don't want that comment on that type of comment to show up on your profile. So if someone says hello, but that's not rude, but you just don't like the word hello and you only like words like hi, then you can just delete that. So you can key here, are you sure you want to delete this comment, it will ask. And if you delete the comment because it's rude, don't do that. Report it, but also delete it if you feel like it shouldn't be on your profile. But anyways, Moss W has commented hi on our profile. Now how do we reply to him? How does he find out what we've said? First of all, you have to click on this reply button under the hi, and then you have to say, and then you can say whatever you want basically. So I'm going to say, hello Moss, great that you're here, and then I'm going to put like a winky face. And now whenever you click on post, your message gets sent. But if you click on cancel, your message basically gets removed and you have to write the whole thing over again. Only click on cancel if you feel like you should rewrite your message or you don't like your existing message. So just click on post. And as you can see, it's going to load for a while, and then hello Moss, great that you're here, has been sent to Moss W. Now this message, hello Moss, great that you're here will show up in his messages, and in his messages it will show up like that. So that's how the whole messaging thing works. Now in a few minutes here, Moss W is going to be responding to us, I am sure. Now I am going to be showing you how that you're supposed to view other people's profiles and commenting on their areas. So first of all, you just have to do the same as profile, but you have to click on the username of the person. So for example, here we have Moss W, and whenever you click on Moss W, as you can see, we're getting loaded to a new page. And this is actually the page of Moss W. As you can see, we have his profile. Now we can comment something here. So you have to scroll all the way to the bottom. And then here you comment something like, hey, hope you are doing well. And then we can put something friendly like that, and then just the same thing you post, and then it's profile. So now it will show up as their profile to them, just like how he commented hi on my profile. We are commenting, hey, hope you are doing well on his profile. So it's basically like what he did towards us, but then I'm doing it back to them. So yeah, that's how commenting works. Hopefully you understood. Now we should normally have a response from Moss by now. Now as you can see, he has said a nice video and then a smiley face. As you can see, he said nice video. Now he has replied to us again, and then you can just click on reply again, and then on reply again, and just keep conversing over and over again. But we're not going to do that. I just wanted to give you guys this very short introduction of what comments are. Of course, don't be mean or don't misuse the comments feature to spam on someone's profile, which is basically commenting the same thing over and over and over and over again, or just constantly posting something on their profile when they don't really want it. Don't irritate people. Don't do anything like that. Just be that casual talking person. If you see anyone rude or someone trying to steal your personal information, make sure to report them. Now, hopefully you understood how comments work. Now, of course, if you don't want people to comment on your profile and you want to be the dude who's closed away from the community, which is perfectly fine, of course, then you can always, there's this little checkbox here that says turn off commenting. You can always turn this on, and then as you can see, no one can comment on your profile. Now, when I reload the page, which is Control R or Command R on MacBooks, then it says, sorry, comment posting has been turned off for this user profile. Now, you can definitely turn it back on if you wish to. It's all a very simple process. Now, as you can see, we've got another message. We click here, and as you can see, I'm fine, thanks, how are you? Moss has replied to us saying that. Now, we can just continue the conversation again, but of course, I am not going to do that. Hopefully that made you understand how comments work. That was just a very short introduction to make you guys understand how you're communicating with the community. Because if you're going to be alone making your projects and not having any fun, then it's going to be a bit boring. And one last thing related to the community, whenever you go to your project, you can share it with the community as well. So it says this project is not shared, so only you can see it. Click share to let everyone see it. And whenever you click on this orange box saying share, you're sharing your project with the community. Now be very careful when doing this. If you don't want other people to see your project, then don't do it, because when you click on share, basically everyone has access to your project and they can remix your project and add stuff to it. Now, of course, if someone straight up copies your project and doesn't make any changes, that's strictly prohibited. So you can report their project by clicking on the report button, which we will see soon enough. But you click on the share button if you'd like to, of course. And as you can see, we have our little area here. Now, for other people viewing our project, there will be a report button with which they can report this project if it's bad. But of course, our race game is very kind and fun. There's nothing bad about it. So whenever you click on the report button, you can explain why you've reported it. And if you see some other user's project and they've directly copied your project without making any changes to it, if they've made changes to it, then it's allowed. But if they haven't, then it's not allowed. So whenever you make changes like that, whenever they make changes, you cannot report it, because they can do whatever they want with your project whenever you share it to the community. But if they don't make changes, then you have to report them. So hopefully you understood how that worked. Now here you can make like a little description of what your project is. Instructions is how you have to run your project. So here you can say stuff like click on the green flag to start the project, and then we can do watch as Scratch Cat meets bear. Ha ha ha. And then like we have our own cool project here. And of course, if you want to give credits to someone for helping you out, which you definitely have to do, it's a major rule of Scratch. Now, I'm giving you permission to not give credits to me, because of course I'm just a random person sharing this info with you. You don't have to give credits to me, but if you really want to, you can just do it. And you can also add notes, like for example, note, many people helped me with this project. I didn't do it single-handedly, or something like that. You can also say something like credits to Moss W for participating. Moss W is of course our friend participating here. Now, as you can see, they've said credits to Moss W for participating here. Now, that's what you can add there. But for us, instructions is fine, as we don't have any notes and credits to share. Anyways, hope that was enough community related stuff. Now, let's go to the important part. Let's go back to my stuff. And it's time that we explore the paint editor. Now, if you guys don't remember how to make a project, there's the button here saying plus new project in the corner here. So you have to click on that, and then you have your brand and new project loading up, and you have the screen. Now, if you have no idea what's going on here, and if you're confused, then you have to look at episode 1 and 2 to understand this. But now we're going to be going over the paint editor. Now, to go to the paint editor, we have these three sections here: costumes and sounds. We've already gone over these sections in the last episode, episode 2, but we're just going to be going over the costumes tab more. So when you click on costumes here, as you can see, you have your giant scratch cat. You can always just scroll out. Oh my god, I did this on accident. So you can always scroll out if you want to by clicking on these zoom out buttons here in the corner. You can zoom out, like you go crazily out, or you can also like zoom in so that you don't see any of it. Now, we went over this in the last episode, and we basically ruined Scratch Cat and how he looks, and I don't want that to happen again, of course. But in the last episode, I said that I was going to be going over all of these blocks, all of these buttons. Now, I did say I was going to go over a couple of other stuff like these blocks, but that's basically too much for one video. I'm pretty sure when you're done listening to this whole paint editor business, you're going to be fed up for the day, and you're probably going to spend the whole day being interested at what this is and figuring stuff out. So first of all, what is a paint editor? But before that, what is a costume? We went over this in the last episode. It's like sprites inside sprites. As you can see, whenever we click on a new costume here in the sprite editor, it changes into a new sprite over there. So whenever you go to your code section, when you click here, then you can click on looks here, and then you have this box saying switch costume to costume 2. And when you drag it over to your code section and run it, as you can see, it changes into costume 2. But whenever we change it back to costume 1 by clicking on the drop down and selecting costume 1, it becomes costume 1 again. That's very, very simple. So you can put switch costume to costume 1 back here. To delete a block, you basically have to drag it back. We learned about this in the last episode. You guys probably remember all of this, but I'm just repeating it so that it's good in your head. Now let's go back to the paint editor and let's start learning what this is all about. Save my project real quick. Call this paint editor test. And then let's learn it. So we have many buttons here. We have a select button. We have this weird magic button. What does that do, Nami? We have this weird color thing. Who knows what that could do? Whoa, it's making something white. We have the eraser, which makes everything white. What's that? And then we have a fill, which is making our scratch cat white. What is all of this? What is all of this? Well, let's quickly. Whoa! I wasn't trying to get there. Wait. Let's undo all of our changes real quick. Just edit, or yeah. Okay. First, you know what? Let's just get a new Scratch Cat because we basically ruined Scratch Cat right now. Let's delete this one. And let's search up cat. And as you can see, we have our cat here. Let's bring him back. And then click on costumes again. And you can see. Now, to bring a new sprite, I didn't clearly explain that. You have to hover over this little cat sign here and a plus. And then you have to go click on this little search symbol here. And then you can search up Scratch Cat. And then he'll come again. But we don't want 2 Scratch Cats, and 1 is enough. So yeah. Now let's go back to the paint editor. Sorry if you hear something like wind. That just the computer. It's nothing wrong. So as you can see, we have a little Scratch Cat here. Now the paint editor, I think it's pretty straightforward. A paint editor means editing something with paint. So if you've ever used Microsoft Paint before, where you can basically draw things, like just think this of a coloring tool. Like these are all coloring tools that you can do whatever you want. So click on this mouse symbol. Let's see what this does. If you have the mouse symbol, if you have this mouse symbol selected and it's all blue in the corners, and you click on a specific body part of Scratch Cat, for example, let's take his leg as an example, then you can actually drag it. If you click on it and drag it, it's just like the blocks. You can drag it away. Now you might be asking, Nami, this is very bad. Why are you doing this? Now, this could be very useful for a project if you're trying to make something like, for example, you're making solve a puzzle game where you're trying to make someone find out in what order all of the sprites should come in. Now, of course, that's a very Now, of course, you can really use that for a project. That's a really good idea. So that's why the select tool could be useful. Or for example, if you don't want specific parts of a sprite to be there, then you can always just get rid of them. Like if you click on delete, as you can see, it just went away. But you can always just get it back too. As you can see, our scratch cat is back now. You can also always undo your changes if whenever you want. Also, our project just disappeared. Let's click on my stuff and get there again. There are very weird bugs here. Wait. Let me load that back up, and as you can see, we can go back to our paint editor. But thank the gods, our scratch cat is now good again. Now I understood what the select tool means. You can basically move stuff around, but you can always just put it back where it was. The select tool is basically to move certain parts of your sprite around, or if you ever want to edit stuff. Now this select is different than the normal one. Here you can also select body parts, but as you can see, it doesn't actually select the whole thing. It just makes this little weird this small line in the middle of the black line. So whenever you click on a cat's head or something like that with this tool, then whenever you click on it, as you can see, it's different. It gets rid of them in a very slow way. And you have these little blue dots here. If you click on that and extend it, as you can see, his eyes became super big. But you can always just get rid of that. And as you can see, the eyes of Scratch Cat are now gone. You can also get rid of something else. And as you can see, Scratch Cat is a whole other character now. If we just get rid of these, and as you can see, Scratch Cat is a whole new beautiful character now. That's what this is for now. Hopefully you guys understood what that does. So that's exactly what that's what this does. It basically gets rid of very small parts, and you can replace them with whatever you want. So for example, if you want to put them back in, of course, then you can always just select and do that. But for now, let's just actually go. I want my normal scratch cat again, so let's get that. If you want to redo or undo your changes, so if you did something and you just undid it, then you can redo it by clicking here. But if you want to stop, if your scratch cat is like this and you want to make a normal scratch cat again, then you just have to keep clicking on this reverse button until he is normal again. Now moving on from this tool, from these two select tools. Now hopefully you've understood. Select tool is for moving big body parts away and not doing any changes to them. And this select tool is for getting away small parts, but you can also change them to whatever size you like. Now as you can see, we have this brush tool here. Now I think this is pretty straightforward. It basically means that you're going to make a giant line. So for example, if you want to make a purple line, you just click and drag it all the way over here. So as you can see, we can draw like a giant circle around Scratch Cat. And as you can see, it now shows up there because we've just edited him. If you want to change the color of Scratch Cat eyes, you can do that too. If you just put like little purple dots here, then as you can see, he has purple eyes now. He has purple eyes. And you can basically do that. So as you can see, Scratch Cat has purple eyes now. It all works perfectly. So that's what the brush tool is for. You can basically put any line you want and it's basically going to come up. Now as you can see, we have totally blocked Scratch Cat. So whenever you don't want that to happen, you just click on undo again multiple times and then you can just get rid of that and you'll have your normal Scratch Cat again. Now since we drew away so much stuff, this is actually going to be it is going to take a while, but we'll do it in the end. Wait, just coming, and there it is. Now sorry if you're hearing something in the background, that's just the rain. Okay, it's like a peaceful background music showing up whenever we're programming. It's very peaceful in the background. So now that you guys have learned what the top 3 buttons does, let's learn what this thing does. Now think of eraser just think of this like in rubber you use in real life to rub away stuff. So basically, if you use this if you drag it over to Scratch Cat, then you can basically get rid of stuff. So if you don't like a certain part of a drawing you've made, you can always just erase it. So whenever you have Scratch Cat and you're too lazy to pick another sprite and then start painting again, then you can always just get rid of Scratch Cat by using the eraser tool like this. And he's not there anymore, and you can just make whatever you want over here. But actually we want Scratch Cat back. So now we have Scratch Cat back by clicking there. So hopefully you understood what the eraser tool does. It basically gets rid of whatever you drag it against when your mouse is extra clicked. That works perfectly. So then again you can do that, and as you can see our Scratch Cat is normal again. Now the fill tool, this one is certainly an interesting one. With the fill tool, you can actually do this. You can select a color for it here. Actually, I forgot to mention something. Whenever you're using the eraser tool, or you're using the brush tool, or the brush tool or the eraser tool, you can choose in what color you're going to set it. So you can set it to whatever you want. You can change the color here. And then you can change it. So as you can see now, if you use the thing, it's going to be black and not purple. But if you use the eraser now, erasers don't change because the erasers are supposed to be white. You can't change their color because then it's not really an eraser anymore. The same thing applies with fill. With fill, you can fill entire areas. So for example, this little area here beside Scratch Cat's eyes, you can make it black. Now, if you want to make give Scratch Cat like a black look, then you can just fill in all of his body parts and keep the white area. And as you can see, we have a little black Scratch Cat here now. Now, you can always change the color to what you like. So if you want a green Scratch Cat, then you can do that as well by just filling in everything. And as you can see, we have a green Scratch Cat now. We can also make a red one, as you can see. We have a red Scratch Cat now. Now, if you don't want these white pieces and you want Scratch Cat to become entirely white, entirely red, so super red, then you just have to click on those pieces, and as you can see, it's extremely red. But of course, this is really spooky and also really eye blinding, so I'm going to get rid of that and make Scratch Cat normal again. There we go. That's our normal Scratch Cat. Now, hopefully you understood what the fill tool does. It basically gives a certain area a certain color. Now we can undo that, and as you can see, it's Scratch Cat is normal again. And now you have this little T sign, and T stands for text. Now, what does text do? You might be asking. Text is the way that you put some text above your above or anywhere you'd like. So whenever you click on text and you click somewhere random in the screen, then you can add text like hello. As you can see, it showed up with text, and you can make, and as you can see, it showed up hello here. Now you can change the style of this hello so that it's something else. Like for example, maybe it's pixelated. Then as you can see, it's in a pixelated style. If you want it to be in another style, like if you want it to be in a Chinese style, then as you can see, it's in a Chinese style. If you want it to be curly and all curly, then you can change it to curly, and as you can see, your text is all curly. So that's how the style works. You can also change the size of your text by finishing it, and then you can drag it smaller and smaller and smaller, and as you can see, hello is so small now that you can't even see it almost. So we'll keep this hello. We're going to keep this hello with us, since he's a very important person, and hello is a very important person for sure. So we'll keep this hello. Now, I think these last ones all of you probably understood. Line is for drawing a line. You click on it and then you do this. As you can see, we have a giant line here. You can draw lines anywhere you like. You just randomly draw lines. You can also get rid of it. You can make little drawings with that. As you can see, we made a triangle using it very, very easily. Also, when you're trying to connect lines, there's this very handy feature. It allows you to connect two lines easily. So whenever you drag it to another area, it just fixes it so that nothing is suddenly wrong. So we can get rid of everything like that though, because we don't need those triangles around Scratch Cat. Circles are also pretty straightforward. You can just draw your own circles. If you want a circle to cover almost everything of Scratch Cat, then you can do that if you want. You can also make squares, which is also pretty straightforward. You can just make a giant square. You can just cover everything of the screen. Now, of course, if you don't, and if you want like a black line around your squares and circles, then you can set like then you can click here and give everything like a black outline, and then you can give it like a size of 5, and then if you draw something like that, then as you can see the color is red inside, but it has like this weird outline. So that's how outlines work. And if you want a line that's extremely thick and you also want it to be like a square, then I'd recommend that you use squares themselves to do this instead of using the line tool. So let's get rid of all of this real quick because we don't want everything. So, hopefully you've got a good understanding now of what all of these stuff do. Now you might be asking, Nami, what does this convert to bitmap button mean? What does this group and ungroup mean? What does forward and backward and front and back do? What is this weird thing here? What is this costume name? What is this what are these numbers here? Why whenever I zoom out like you said me, do I see this weird square around this? What does all of this mean, Nami? Now, today you've learned a lot, okay? With the things you've just learned, you can probably experiment a lot. Because if you go and hover over this cat sign here with a plus, then you see many symbols here. This, and this. Now, if you want to choose a sprite from Sprite Library, then you can come here. As you can see, you have many sprites, just like Scratch Cat, that you can use. But let's click on back here. Because you can also draw your own sprites. Like whenever you click on paint, you can make your own sprite for your game. If you just zoom in, then as you can see, you can make your own character. So it's very easy. I'm going to make like a very short character immediately called Bob. So Bob, we're going to give him an outline of this. We're going to give him that. And we're going to give him... So Bob is basically going to be a thick character. No offense to people who are called Bob. I don't have anything against people called Bob. I'm just doing this because Bob is the only name I can think of right now. So let me just do this. Get the color again. Get that away, and as you can, and then you can add like little colors there. Like if you, for example, do this. Of course, I'm trash at drawing, so of course, I am very bad at making that work. So we have our little stuff here, and then you can add extra additions if you like the foot and the arms. Now, don't take inspiration from Bob, guys, because yeah, let's get rid of Scratch Cat, okay? Now, don't take inspiration from what I have drawn here, because for some reason I have made something horrible and I have really no idea why I've made this. So don't take inspiration from this. Become a true artist and draw something really good for your game. But now you see the potential. You can easily draw a human using the paint editor. You can experiment a lot with that already. You can make many sprites, you can make many costumes, you can do a lot of code already, you can do most of the motions, you can do looks. We've learned all of that in episode 1 and episode 2. Anyways, hopefully you understood how the whole paint editor works. Just a quick summary to recap. If the select tool basically selects specific body parts, you can move them around, but you can also put them back where they were. With this select tool, you can basically get small parts and try to extend them by doing stuff like this. With this, you can basically make like very smooth lines. With this, you can erase all of that by making it all white. You can get rid of this last bit of chunk we don't need in Bob's arm, and we can make him go away. Like we can make anything out of that. You can also make like lines wherever you would like to. You can make circles. You can make squares by clicking on there and doing this. And then you can do this by coloring stuff. Now, hopefully you understood all of that. You've learned a lot today as well. Today too, give congratulations to yourself. You've learned most of these buttons, which took me an infinitely long time to figure out because I didn't understand what these first two tools was. Luckily for you, you have me who can just teach you what all of these mean. So hopefully you understood everything. Now let's get Bobby normal again, because I really don't want Bob to be this one creature. Let's keep him. Just be happy with what you have, Bob. Don't get too overestimated. And of course, that applies in real life too. Don't just work with what you have. Don't immediately think, Nami, I want to learn everything. Work with what you have learned. You can do anything. You can already do so. I can think of so many things you can just do with the code you've learned right now. So next episode, what I'm going to give a sneak peek of what we're going to be going over next episode. Next episode, we're going to be going over more of the paint editor, how you can do this and how you can upload more stuff. And next episode is just going to be about the paint editor, no distractions like the whole comment thing, and you guys will learn a lot more about how to draw your sprite and make it super beautiful and awesome, not like a weird character like Bob. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video, Scratchers. I really hope you've learned a lot from that. I really hope you understood. If you have any questions, make sure to ask in Facebook comments. If you have any questions, I'll immediately respond to them because I love answering questions. Don't even hesitate. So make sure to like, share and subscribe. I really want more people to see this, because what I've noticed is that many people want to make their own games because they see so many other games like it. So whenever they want to make their own games, Scratch is the key, because it's made for kids to make their own games. So whenever other people who want to make games see my videos, they'll be super happy because they've been wanting to make like a recreation of maybe their favorite video game their whole life. I don't know if you guys know these games: Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. They are very famous games. If you learn enough, you could be recreating those games. You could be making multiplayer online games on Scratch. That's the potential of Scratch. So if you really want to make a video game in your life and become like a person that makes many games, Scratch is supposed to be your first step. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe so more people can get their dream fulfilled. And it's me, Nami.